nyinyi wawili hamjui vile watu ni wakora itao. As in by default.
Uliwajulia wapi? Wewe ni mkora mmoja wao. Why do you know so many wakora Kingori? Which gang did you join? Can you find at least for once? Can you also join a sober group where you can not say hii town imejaa wakora? Utoka kwa ukora Kingori.
Wadau, kwa hii episode ni kama nilikuja kuvamiwa, but game is game. Man must represent.
This is what I think about men also. While I'm praising them for being generous, I think they are inherently lazy.
In this episode of the Institute of Character Development, kuna Benjamin Zulu himself.
Cross River Nile on a rope and you don't get eaten by crocodile. So you live to say, even if you cross River Nile, nothing can. I was there. I crossed. Yeah. What are they telling you?
Can you see any injured?
So sleeping with people before marriage is crossing River Nile. You may get across.
You may succeed across.
And Dr. Nyachira Muthiga.
You see how you always ask women what are you bringing to the table? I think if all the man is bringing to the table is money and nothing else, then when the money goes, he goes.
This is a battlefield of facts and lessons from experience.
Where is the body count of the men? Can't you just give both statistics? Why is the body count for women the most shameful part? And the men look like they're innocent when they're smashing and going.
Halafu episode yetu ya leo is hosted by...
My name is Dr. Nyachira Muthiga. Welcome to the Institute of Character Development. Today, marriage pessimists and optimists meet at the same table.
You know, you guys, by the end of this conversation, Nico, sure, you will see that from the look of things, not like marriage is a bad thing, but marriage is becoming extinct. No, seriously. Mm-hmm. That's my submission. And I make your submission in confidence that the society has become something else. Mm-hmm. We had another conversation, nikasema, ati squeezy, kitambo, women and men were trained for the institution of marriage. Like, you get married at 18, but for 18 years, you've been prepared for this institution, right? So nowadays, it's very hard to sign up for suffering, and you've all been raised the same. Values ni inaitwaje, boys na girls wamereziwa the same, alafu you expect sijui unakuja kuambiwa mambo ya submission nini. And I think from the look of things, if things don't change, marriage will soon be a thing of the past.
It's like saying the cell of your body will also get extinct while you're also expecting to survive. Marriage and family are the cell of society. And anybody predicting the extinction of the cell is predicting the extinction of the human body. Mm-hmm. Marriage and family constitute society. After this, we are going home to those cells where we are taken care of. Then we come back to the world. The world stands because of family. Okay, from that institutional perspective, but from an individual perspective, I had somebody say, I'm training my son, how to be a man, before the world trains him how to be a woman. Mm-hmm. You said we are raising children, training them same values. I just wanted to distinguish to you that it's upon me to pass on the essence of a man to my sons and the essence of a woman to my daughters. The reason you are saying is frustrating, how the marriage is breaking apart, is because the foundations are weak. People say the marriage, divorce is so high, people even killing their partners, people murdering, and I'm telling them, you're complaining about the fruit, yet the root is the problem. People lost values for discipline, preparation, due diligence. How many people are dating right? Before you say about marriage, remember about the sexual behavior. Men think smashing is the fun. They make bonds based on chemistry and the momentary infatuation. That's how they connect.
Smashing is not fun.
It's fun, but when it is inside marriage, that's the place is safe. Huku nje, what it drives it, and I was telling Dr. up outside the offset that we have not told men that the taste of stealing, the taste of illicit sex is different from the taste of marital, licit, legal sex. It's very different. So people are training themselves for stolen bread so much that the real bread is tasteless.
So you've tasted both, but you don't want others to taste, you know it's different.
You're interpreting something I did not say. I did not say that. When I tell you that stolen money is easy, am I telling you that you've also stolen? If today you stand here telling me that the guy who robbed the bank got the money easy, me, I'm hustling for it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I will ask you knew that it's an easy money. I'm just telling you are correlating things that are not related.
Just you're making assumptions. But also when you say that marriage is becoming extinct, on what basis are you grounding that?
Benjamin has agreed with me without knowing. The foundation is weak. the things that made marriage an institution to look forward to have changed, right?
Yeah.
And it keeps on going. As in,
it's the values that made families strong that we have despised.
Exactly.
It's the disciplines and things that we were built into that we have abandoned. And it's not all of us. There are some of us who are still believing it, and we are training our children into it.
And what's the net effect of more and more people abandoning the values that made marriage, that make marriage a strong institution?
Chaos. So there's chaos. There's loose marriages. There's what people are calling makeshift. There's no legal thing, but people are living somehow, and one leg out, doors are open. If you're not happy, you can leave.
It's a free door.
It's a
swinging door.
This kind of thing. And women are the ultimate losers because their biological clock is more sensitive, but society can't allow them to know that. They reach a point that they're being told they have too much mileage, as if the man does not have mileage. They reach a point they're being told they have a lot of body count, as if the bodies they're sleeping with are cows. The man has body count, but it doesn't matter. The woman has body count, but it matters. Because since times immemorial, mating is controlled a lot by the female. So they're blamed more by who they're allowed to come into them. That's how it's expressed. I'm just saying the chaos that has come from cohabitation, from getting babies, from baby mama, people even getting children in bestie. So on bestie, have a child.
Yeah.
Bestie. We have reduced it to jokes until we are getting children in a situation we can't even explain. Who is my father? It was an affair with a married man who was funding me, who was putting me in Kilimani with a good house there. That's how I got you. But I can't. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. We are raising children who are very bitter, and they know we don't have moral compass. They are angry because we established, we loosened the bonds and seriousness of parenting. So to answer you, the result is chaos, social chaos. Too many divorces, and people are divorced before they are married. People are living together, parting ways. They have children, they were in something, but it was not marriage. So they are somewhere after something, and they are lost. Number two is children we are raising who are angry and who don't know what marriage is, because we were just having loose things when we created them. By the time they grow up, you cannot even ask who is my father, is my mother. We were created for father and mother, but they don't have that. So they grow with a lot of need. There's a research that was done. The sample was very small, but it was still indicative. Sometime 2022, they interviewed young women, 29 and below. When a sample is that small, like 100 people within a small geographical, it's not really authoritative, but it had something I liked. I thought it was too indicative that 65% of those girls said it is better to date older men who have money, who are more settled. Younger men don't know what they want, they don't have anything to offer me. Is it 20%? A large percent of that were already having mubabas. The larger percentage believed it's okay. At that, very big percentage, when you compare to society, were already having mubabas. And then were asked, they were saying, the younger men are frustrating, they don't know what they want. The only thing these young men could not answer it, what is their future?
Wadau, see, I tell you something small about Tap Send kabla tuendelee na story. Exactly. So Tap Send is a safe and super fast money remittance application that comes with great exchange rates. Alafu Tap Send has multiple payment options. You can send directly to bank accounts, and you can also send directly to mobile money transfer platforms. Yay! Uko Colorado? Niweke kwa M-Pesa. Tap Send has got you covered. And here's more good vibes. There are no hidden charges, no transfer fees. That means the same exact amount of money you see in the app is the same amount of money that the recipient will receive. Alafu, good vibes on top of the good vibes. You get a $30 bonus credit on your first send using Tap Send if you use our code Wicked Edition. Consider yourself plugged.
The only thing these young men could not answer it, what is their future? The older man is way ahead in life. He's in different seasons. He will exist soon when you're still young. So they were trading themselves now for money. Women were taught not to work for their own money, not to become doctor and command their destiny, and choose man based on love, affection, connection, the value, respect. Because Dr. Nyachira can do that because she has her own life. Many girls were not taught this. And offset, I was a singer, I was a driver to do so many things. Medicine is very involving. I usually think they can't even sleep. They're sleeping 2 hours only. They can't even be seen anywhere. She told me when you climb higher, it frees you more. And she's able to spread her wings. How many girls can think like her? She told me she overcame the pressure to settle and approve that she's also in the mode of girls. After this, get married, get children, show that you are normal. But most women, do I say 80%? In our country, the way I'm dealing with, from my estimation, still think it's the man's money. So that's why they want man was money, not their own money.
Now that we are talking about it, maybe it is the reason why people were getting married in the beginning. So what is this that is going extinct? What was the reason then, and what's our motivation for marriage right now?
No, marriage was a prison for women to reduce
prison?
them. Yes, it was a way to reduce them to baby generators and sex toys. Men would use them to masturbate, and to get many women for one man and told them it is marriage. Polygamy was not for women. Women was even less than children. Polygamous setting, the woman had no voice. There was no love in polygamy, in traditional marriage. To this day, ignorant women still subscribe to traditional marriage, thinking it's easier entry. It does not have criteria. You can just start living together, then go polish. Traditional was just for men. So traditional polygamy, it was just women to produce children, and the man cannot be the reason why you're not getting children. Men were always kingpin. He can get many women, and there's no cheating. The word cheating is not there even in traditional. Except when the woman moves out, she's outcast. She's the mother, and the bloodline of that mother is cast. But when the man cheats, that's not cheating. That's how men live. Just to tell you that it was meant mostly to suppress the woman, to keep her potential out.
Exactly. So you are qualifying a methali that says, and in no reference, just for context, mjinga akierevuka mwerevu yuko matatani. You understand? I agree with you that the idea of marriage being a prison for women kitambo could have passed. But when you check the statistics from the 60s, when women were allowed to work, women were allowed to be in the workplaces, the divorce statistics from around that time, 70% of the divorces initiated by women were from women who had jobs, who had a career and something to fend for themselves, all right? So you are agreeing with me.
I did not finish the point of telling you, the time you're saying long time ago or before women had freedom, they were tied on the yoke of early marriage. They were even married very early, and they were also circumcised. They were amputated their sexual parts, never to enjoy sex. That was the idea. There's no other idea. Even those who do it today, and it's women who are forced to do it on their daughters. So it was female mutilation. Calling it circumcision it's actually a lie.
Female genital mutilation, yes.
Very good. It's like cutting your hand. They would cut off. And number two, we're just saying God created marriage for companionship. That is the essence we marry. Those of us who are awakened, those of us who are healthy, who understand we are marrying to complete each other, to enrich each other's life, to build each other's life. Yes. But in order to marry for companionship, you need to have healed, evolved, have self-awareness, and have a path of life. And the society is not pushing you to it. What Daktari was telling me, that she has finally shaken off, that many questions would let them to lean, and those sneaky aunties sending people to you. Matching you with people indirectly, and pastors making you a prayer item. You come home and mom has already brought a group, unawares, unawekelewa mikono, and you don't think you have a problem. You're even wondering what is going on. You're already being cast some demons of not getting married, societal pressure, When you have evolved and you have a destiny and a life to live and you want richness, and I'm not saying you cannot get those things without marriage. There are people who like Paul of the Bible, there are people who live like that. They have organized their lives to have a life without it. But I'm saying for those of us, and this majority of us, who want that companionship, we do it when you have evolved. Not because society or somebody has yoked you to it when you are too young, before you find what you want, before you define what life you want.
And what's in it for you, if I may ask?
Companionship. I just told you the biggest benefit. Yes.
Companionship, first of all, for the most part, in today's society, a man without money is useless. We can start with that statement. For the most part, a man without money is considered useless, okay? A man with money has options. So should you look for money or should you look for companionship? Because with ukijipanga poa, you can marry right and have different companions.
I married right without money. The places where without money you are useless is the money-minded, materialistic world.
And that's everybody.
No, it's not everybody. That's where you're going wrong, King Ori. You think that carroten corner of the world is the whole world. It's not the whole world.
It's exposure.
It's not the whole world. King Ori, we still have sincere women. Actually, I found pure souls who can't even lie. I can count for you women today who cannot lie. They will reverse money. Send it by mistake. They will reverse it.
Which ones are those ones?
That's a different. We are talking of a different kind of honesty. Okay, Unona, and I think this probably, if you may, this is probably a different segment altogether of conversation. Like, not all women, most women are character developed into the thing that people hate. Like most women you'll hear work on an experience that changed their perspective. So the honest woman, you know, they've not met the Kevins and Brians.
But you see, also, I think when you say man without money is useless, I think it only exists in a place where the man has been reduced to financial provision alone. So if you reduce that man to financial provision, yes, he's nothing else to you if the money is not there. If he has no other provision around him, if he has no leadership, no emotional support, nothing else he brings to the table but the money. Then when he doesn't have the money, then you don't need him because there's nothing else.
Doesn't the Bible talk about a man should provide?
It talks about provision, yes, talks about provision, but doesn't say that is all he is. You'll be very surprised, by the way, how many women are out here supporting men. You'll be very shocked. And they're in very seemingly very happy relationships. You'll be very shocked. The day women entered into careers and professions, it also opened their banks. It opened them to opportunities. So they are also bringing to the table what is being used in the family. But it only comes from I think only comes from a place where you don't reduce that man to he's equal to dollar bills. Because if that is, you see how you always ask women, what are you bringing to the table? I think if all the man is bringing to the table is money and nothing else, then when the money goes, he goes. Because there's nothing else.
Just to tell Kingori that the pessimistic worldview you are forwarding, there's a quote I saw that said the
pessimistic ama realistic.
Very pessimistic.
No, realistic.
Because you have a lot of generalizations of telling me women who are positive were hurting to doing it. Or those who are honest because they have not yet met somebody to hurt them until they change. I know many girls who are raised like that, mothers who raised their daughters like that. And that's how they spend their life. I just want you to know when you wear googles that are blue, the whole world looks blue. I want you to remove those googles. You are wearing some googles of pessimism. That nobody can be good without being broken. No, I just want to tell you that I have met them, and many of us men, only that when you have something good, you don't trumpet it. We are married to them. We just don't make noise about that.
Yeah.
In fact, when you have something good, you try to not call attention. Just enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Just to tell you.
So that others are not interested in what you have.
You know, because they may come to compete with me. When they hear I have gold at home, you know,
yes, they might come for
they
the
want to check it out. Nobody wants to praise the way you guys want to check her out.
So you have to keep a good relationship.
Okay, that's another subject. If she gatekeeps aside, I gatekeep actually against my own temptations. I don't watch my wife, I watch myself. When I watch my gate, she watches her gate. That's how it works. It's trust, it's not policing. Actually, if you have to police something, you can't keep it because the anxiety of that it might slip out of hand will kill you.
See, sasa unasema people may steal your gold, and this is a fact, and I know you'll all agree with this. And I think this comes to, I think, a conversation I picked up with Dr. Nyachira, ya work wives and work husbands, right?
Yeah.
I think na kuna kitu tuliacha hapo, hiyo ya body count, tutarudi hapo. But hii kitu ya, when you get close to someone, right? When I say people want different things at different times, like you may be married, but then you get to another environment that you bond with someone else, kabisa, you are likely to love this person as you love your husband. It's natural.
No. We don't bond accidentally. I will watch boundaries. I will not allow another woman to get emotionally close to me. When I said people may steal your God, I was saying figuratively why good marriages, men who have good women are not shouting. I was just saying they don't see a point to prove it. They know it's real, they are living it. That's their day-to-day life.
They know.
Thank you very much. And again, I don't need to say, come and see, come prove. There's no point. I'm happy. That's what I meant when I say calling too much attention to gold. Actually, people who carry money in the streets don't bother people. All right? Don't bother people.
That's your point.
So what I'm saying is this. I don't gravitate to other people accidentally. I know boundary. I respect what I have. When you respect what you have, actually, I don't need to police you, check your phone. That is never necessary. I respect what I have with my wife, and she respects what we have together. If somebody ever violates and you are honest, you can sense, you can pick signs, then you can go out and check. It's like when you have a property somewhere. You don't keep policing it every day. Even when you have a CCTV at home, you're not stuck on the CCTV 24/7. You check it when you need to. It's not that I can't check, but I'm just telling you there's something called trust, Kingori. Move out of your pessimistic corner. There are people who can be trusted.
No, I agree. But even with that trust, you still admit that there is pressure that you may need to check. That is actually a seed, like a seed of
There's
mistrust.
no pressure. One, it may never happen or it may happen once in a blue moon throughout your years with that person. When you choose, when you are the right person, when you become the right person, you will be trusted by the right people, and they will never keep you with anxiety of their cheating, and you need to check. So Kingori, no, you are nervous when it comes to true love. When it comes to genuineness,
Actually,
you think everybody is an unbeliever in it.
No, but
he's just fighting it.
In his defense, Benjamin, I think he's trying to explore this conversation to see where the misstep is.
Yeah.
I think it's something he aspires for or
No, when people are unsure,
both of you guys,
he can role play to represent those who are doubtful.
No, let me tell you guys. Nyinyi wawili hamjui vile watu ni wakora hii town. As in by default.
Uliwajulia wapi? Wewe ni mkora mmoja wao. Why do you know so many wakora Kingori? Which gang did you join? Can you find at least for once? Can you also join a sober group where you can say hii town imejaa wakora? Kutoka kwa ukora Kingori.
I am super invested in understanding how human beings relate.
Okay. So also understand why are you studying criminals and not cardinals? Can you also join the group of cardinals? You're just joining criminals.
No.
Are you a pathologist? No. Can you then become a psychologist? Can you go to criminology?
One out of 2 marriages, official statistics, end in divorce.
That is right. In the US, it's 51. First marriage, 50%. Second marriage, 65%. Third
Exactly.
marriage, almost 7-something.
So what are we discussing?
No, let me prove it. You see, your interpretation of statistics is pessimistic. And I told you the pessimist wins the argument, the optimist wins the cash. So let me tell you what happens. People argue, it is half empty.
Yeah.
The optimist says it is refillable. Simple. So me, I'm trying to tell you what is refillable. So, number one, the reason it's the 50% is because people left values of solid foundations. When you go to a city and buildings are collapsing, you don't say construction and civil engineering is ending as a career. You just say in this city they don't obey the laws of good construction. That's what's happening in the US. That's what happened where marriages, they don't obey the laws of good construction. The person who established marriage, the one who established us. And I started by telling you that I'll tell this my children on my deathbed. The day you stop respecting the really expensive things. The really expensive things is not money. It's loyalty. It's faithfulness. It's keeping your word. It's having integrity. It's being reliable. Those are the real costly things in life. Those are the things you can't buy with money. The day you lose those things, you'll be a walking shell. And some people die at 25. They're not married. They're not buried until they're 75. There's one philosopher who said that. You'll have died. You'll have lost your humanity. The day you can tell your partner, I promise this, but you go doing the opposite. Even if you succeed to do it behind their back, you have failed as a human being. You may succeed as a businessman. You may succeed as a lady who flies social media and all that, but as a human being, you have failed. When you lose respect for your own word. I'm just telling you that. We have people who have something they live for beyond selfish, lying. And you don't have to get married. If you don't believe in marriage, bro, don't marry then torture somebody's daughter. I hope you don't do that. Don't marry then you torture the children. You're running around because you don't believe in marriage, but you're somehow caught in it one leg. Be honest.
So how do you account for the 50%?
50. I said wrong foundation.
Okay.
For example, tell them a simple step of doing interviews without sleeping with the interviewees. They can't do that. People sleep with the people they're interviewing. Even if you're running a natural company, that would be a disaster. You're having sex with the people you're interviewing. That's what they do. They call it a relationship. They can't even read people for who they are. You can find a person whose philosophy of life is so toxic, but they are very egonga, very handsome. They can egonga many people, but they're very handsome. And then you uligonga ones ukapenda sana, he can take you to cloud 9. Many people who can give you, but the toxic sex is very sweet because it's like a drug.
Gives you a high.
Yes. So, and
so you keep going for a fix.
The stolen bread taste. So it's the 50% comes from we lost the foundations of, like, for example, due diligence in mate selection. A simple thing like that can account for the half of all those divorces. The other things will come from money-mindedness. You value money more than me. You want me dead, and I realize you're trying to kill me to remain with all the money. So I get out. I also come to realize you're hiding your money for me to spend all mine. I come to realize you have no boundaries with your family because they are rich or something. You keep telling them my secrets until your mother knows my innerwear, knows my game in the bedroom. I can't trust that. So the poor foundation alone can account for the other things are just lack of humanity, lack of honesty, lack of, and also sometimes when you look at your children, you can change your behavior for the children to grow in a settled home. Just loving your children right. You can say, because I kept promises, and I promise, and I know by just misbehaving and this marriage collapsing, my children may never recover from it. And I'm not saying people should stay until they're killed because of children. I'm just saying, when you look at your child and
It's a decision you can make.
you are the aggressor. You're the one over drinking, staying out late. You're the one flirting with everything. You're the one taking money out there. You're the one bringing your relatives. Sometimes the relatives that kill the marriage. You're the one who's involving the relatives. I can say, for the sake of keeping a peaceful marriage for my children, from today, I've changed. People have done that. Sometimes when the partner dies, I know a guy, the wife died, but the children were so young and vulnerable. He said, if I bring a woman here, they'll be affected. I will not bring a woman until they're at least 18. They're out there in college. And they tried to tell her, Dad, don't say. Said, no, I have heard stories of Mama Wakambo, and I don't want to risk it. Nitafunga mshipi. It was close to 10 years. It was a long time. The oldest was like 10 or something like that. And there were 2 of them. It's the children who told me the story. It's not the man beating his chest.
Yeah.
Saying he was not bringing any woman at all. He was the father. He would, the woman, the girl's life. The way girls need pads, those, what a woman. She said, but Dad, I will need a woman. Said, I'll be the one.
I'll figure it out.
Today, YouTube can teach you everything.
Yeah. But let's explore that conversation that he reminded me. The work husbands and work wives.
That name itself is coming from the brothels of hell. It has been manufactured by enemies of society and enemies of marriage. There's no name like that. That is the same way of saying drug peddler. So work husband is a drug peddler. What in terms of morality and tearing apart society.
Yeah.
So let's just say people who cheat with the workmates. That's the right language.
Oh.
No. I'll correct that. I'll counter that. Not correct.
Is your work wife listening?
I don't have a work wife, but I read an article.
Yes.
I read an article, and this is how conniving human beings can be. I read an article some time back. It was, I believe, it was done by The Nation about women and men who cheat during work hours. Okay, like in fact, there are career women who do prostitution. Like there was a joint where they would go, you collect money, and then you arrive home on time, okay? So your husband will never suspect anything. And the same case applies. For men, it was during lunch hour. Like during lunch hour, when people are going to eat, they are going to eat each other. Like it is standard. And it is a culture that is known in most workplaces, okay? Then I observe.
Most is a very big word.
It's most,
Just
because
say
I remember, when my memory serves me right, I remember in a school setting, and I'll not say which school, it was okay, and we knew that teacher so-and-so is married, okay? But they're so close to this, a male teacher and a female teacher or a female teacher, whichever, right? They were so close to each other that people knew, okay? There's something going on. Like it wasn't something to hide. But both of them, either party, was married elsewhere. You understand? And my conclusion, based on the content I've been exposed to today, is human beings have a capacity, vile nilisema, to bond with different people. You will not say that in 20 years, your wife is the only woman you have liked. Chances are that in this period, you like someone else and you may decide to act on it, or they may act on you. Can go either way.
No. She can't act on me. Liking is one thing. Choosing is another thing. You don't confuse feelings with decisions. You also you see many edible chicken. Do you grab every chicken in every restaurant that you see? So attractive women can sit across your table like Nyachira. Did you sleep with her because she's attractive? Stop reducing human beings to sex animals.
No, we are not. I'm not reducing human beings to sex
Even
animals.
by the time
I have
we got
accepted.
married, the guy who did the wedding told us, you're not marrying because you would never be attracted to anybody else. You're marrying because you have decided to stop paying attention to anybody else in the world. And that's why you're saying a vow. If it was automatic, you would need to vow. You're vowing because you're promising to bind yourself by these promises. So it's irrelevant whether you be attracted to people.
So am I right?
It's irrelevant.
Am I right in saying that human beings sometimes create constructs that they cannot live by? This is what I mean, right? Yes, this is what you commit to. But how many people can handle commitment and discipline? I'm actually speaking to like what the society is. I asked Dr. Nyachira when we were vibing before the show. Like, say we've almost accepted. My friend Butita was, and that's the example I gave, say that he went into the market now ready to settle down. And he was like, he was like, men are playing rough. Men are playing dirty. most of the women, if not all, I think he said all the women he has met under 25 have children.
What is he doing with women under 25?
I saw that coming.
Sasa, should he wait for...
Why are you even using women on adolescents? Why are you
No,
using
no,
the
no,
term? Your definition with your friends, the way you are defining women is already 40.
Watu wanakula maembe na chumvi ikiwa kwa nini, that's what he's saying. Under 25, they have children. So you wait for them at 30 with the teenagers.
Let me ask
Wakuwe na
you,
mtoto
why are
anatoshana
you
na wewe.
generalizing you and your friends? Which corner do you live in?
No,
So
no,
let me-
no.
there's something you say that is very offensively wrong. How many people can handle commitment? We are very many.
I'm a
We are
realist.
very many.
I'm a realist.
Let me also remind you that you are a pessimist. Let me also remind you this. Let me also remind you, you keep generalizing towards the not possible, not possible. How many people can handle commitment? Let me remind you this. There's a guy who felt like you and told God, I'm the only one remaining who stands for you. God told him, I have 7,000 who have not bowed the knee to sexual immorality, to the nonsense. You just don't know them.
7,000.
7,000. God told Elijah that. Elijah said, kill me. There's no point. Everybody has turned away. What's the point? I should also die. But I understand your depression, but understand I have another 7,000. King Ori, let me remind you.
And you say I'm a pessimist, and during the time of Elijah, only 7,000 people were good.
In one,
But you know,
in
the
what
comparison
location?
is he thought he's the only one left.
We are saying one. Let me tell you, again, he was talking about a small locality of Israel. I'm just telling you, and then the context was different. It was about what worship, the morality of that day, which we are also talking about moral issues, but today we are focusing on sexual purity. Just to remind you that there are people who walk with God until they are normal, until the end of their life. They're Enoch. They exist. I just want to tell you this. There are people who can handle commitment. And there's some guy who just lived by morals. They were called Rechabites. They were just living by morals only. Their great grandfather, he told them, because a lot of decay, that they gave them code of conduct. And they lived by that code of conduct until God sent somebody to test. God give those guys wine, see whether they will take it. And they refused. Why can't you take wine? Our father was just ancestor, our founder, told us, our patriarch, never to take these things. Rechabites. It was not even spiritual, it was moral. They were not even doing that because of God. It was their father. Are you aware we have even Muslims, to begin with, who just live by their moral conduct? There are Christians who live by moral conduct. They are people of self-respect, even though there's spirituality, just self-respect. Bro, get out of that small corner you live in.
No. Let me shock you. Let me shock both of you. I'm on a target record of celibacy. Hapa mnaniona vile naongea. Because I live by a certain code, right? I've seen people who I think were innocent doing the most funny things that you've ever seen in this life, okay? So I'm living by the code. Like as a man, the way it's assumed that men are supposed to be promiscuous and stuff, I've set myself a standard that for me to allow someone in my space, they must also live by the same standard. But based on my own kienyeji statistics, by observing, right? Just observing and studying around. And not like ati I hang out sijui wapi sijui rotten corner. People, like the society as a whole, like the number of people who can stand by code and ethics and discipline expected in purity is shrinking by the day. And that's a fact.
I don't know whether you're talking about the number or the percentage. I just want to remind you that in research, there's a time I was waiting for Dr. to challenge, because I'm sure she's doing a lot of research in her master's. There's some things you're not allowed to say in a scholarly setting because they're very amateur. You don't use the word most when you don't have a percentage to show that it's more than 50%. Most means more than 50%. Majority. You can use the word many. Many is neither here nor there.
That's why I said my kienyeji statistics, and that means if I meet 10 people, if I meet 10 people and 7 of them fit a criteria that are not nini, I am allowed to say most.
What if all the 10 are in a red light district?
What about
Koinange Street?
What about if it was 100 and only 10 in the 100 were in the category you're talking about, and you only took the 10?
That 10.
That's highly unlikely, number one.
It's possible.
That's highly unlikely. You know, the definition of marriage, by what I mean is the expectations of men and women of each other have changed over time, okay? You both agree, and you both will agree, that we are witnessing a point, and that's why I gave an example with my friend Butita. We are witnessing a point where it's okay. We said somewhere in one of our conversations that it's kitambo, if a man impregnated a woman, it was almost a taboo, and the man had to take responsibility to marry that woman. right? It was like mmepeana mimba wewe na yeye, and that's how
Watu
most
wako
marriages
sasa.
started, okay? Nowadays it's normal to find people in ulisema ni mixed nini, like I don't know whether we have a name for it, like you find someone has 5 kids, now every kid has their father, like different. It's on one end it reduces the stigma, and on another end, like human sexuality is a beast, we have to accept. And being a beast without the proper guidance and the proper values that should be instilled on people, it will smash.
I totally agree with you that people behave according to their philosophy of life. I used that word in the beginning, and you thought I'm being far-fetched. People behave according to their ideology, what they believe to be right and okay. So many people believe they evolved from monkeys. What else do you expect from monkeys? But those people believe that they descended. They were sent from on high. Their behavior will be high. People are behaving according to what they believe they are. Animals are behaving animal-like. There are others who believe that they are divine. Paul said, I'm stretching that they may reach forth somehow. I just want you to know there are people who have another code of conduct other than just sleeping around. You're very right. Many men ask me, it's like an outbreak of single mothers. You find a lady you like, ukifuatilia kuna mtoto.
And that is what his friend was alluding
Yes.
to. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, that is a fact today, that it's so widespread, it's become casual, page, baby daddy, baby mama. It's even in our language. We even have guys who play that drama, baby mama drama, and it's very relatable because we see it every day. So I don't dispute that. I'm just telling you that we still have people. Somebody yesterday, I was reacting to a very obnoxious post. He was saying, when you marry a woman who's a graduate, she's at least a body count of 8 because there was a different boyfriend every semester. And I was asking him, so those boyfriends, were they bulls? Were they animals? Were they not men? So where is the body count of the men? Can't you just give both statistics? Why is the body count for women the most shameful part, and the men look like they're innocent when they're smashing and going? Just telling you, so that I throw it to you, just to tell you that behavior of trivializing sex and giving other words like game. You know sex, they call it game? Do you want game? I saw one lady posting, do you want my heart or do you want game? That's how casual it has become. We smashed. Alidinywa, casual. It's no longer intimacy. It's no longer special. You get? But there are people who still are suckling their body. And I told him there, I'm posting this so that you can know. There are many men, even if I ask men themselves to comment, they know virgin women who are old enough. Or women who live celibate, like you live yourself. They always say, you have chosen a code of conduct that is not promiscuous. And just a choice. Not even, there's no gun on your head. And it's not that you're afraid and that you can't afford. Nowadays, I tell people, to find someone to sleep with, it's very easy. You just need to unblock one number. You know?
Block list ndio kuna
Kitambo, you had to look around and do a lot of no, it's just some idiot notice online. Oh, so you know, I'm unblocked.
hata ina dinner, no coffee.
Nowadays, the ladies who know you have some float cash on some side sort now 1K. There are many.
I subscribe to an idea by my friend Silas Nyanchwani, one of the best, finest authors from Kenya. Alisema, women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of marriage. And by extension, he goes on to explain, and I think you're wrong on the relationship with sex for both men and women. Alituexplainia akasema, for Jacob Elliott said that sex punishes women more than it does men, number one. But Silas Nyanchwani made a very solid point on the show. Akasema that when men sleep with other women, the worst they can do, and I think this is in the traditional societies, the worst they can do is impregnate someone else. Okay, let's say in a family setting, if a man cheats out there, okay, they will get a kid uko nje, and worst case scenario probably bring disease. Okay, if a woman cheats in this setting, okay, they can affect your whole lineage. You understand? Like you may raise children that are not yours and the generation beyond. And this is in context of, let's say, a couple where a man cheats, okay, and they raise their children. These children will be one family. But in the situation where a man does not cheat and a woman cheats, it's very possible that they may raise children that are not part of this family. So hii conversation ya body count also gets to when we now tutoke kwa morality, tuingie kwa science. Let me sound clever. Unaona, the hormones responsible for people bonding and nini, I think inaitwa oxytocin, right? I think the maker of marriage was very wise in the decision, yeah, chukua mtu wako, this is your person, okay? Then you can build from that. I believe by virtue of people sleeping around and you're still in a marriage setting, body count uses up your oxytocin. So when you start sleeping around, at some point kuna mahali utafika hauna oxytocin hata ya kubond na
so
mtu.
bond na mtu.
Hauwezi kabisa. You may expire oxytocin. Hauna kabisa. So it is my submission that sex affects both men and women differently, and we cannot run away from that.
So in that statement, you've actually confirmed that marriage is a good thing.
It is
with that argument,
one thing,
you're focusing your oxytocin on one person.
100% marriage is a good thing, but the world now is so rotten for marriage.
Okay.
Another example we've given here, right? Nowadays, the idea of options like Instagram, wapi, and an example my friend gave an analogy, and I think we've talked about this before. Like the average woman has 1,000 followers, right? And for most men to make a decision to follow a woman, they find them attractive. So let's say just 200 of them like the woman, and only 10 of them are confident to be on the inbox.
Hi.
Right?
Hi.
Yes.
Hi.
10 of them.
Hi
So
again.
if you have 10 people as a woman hitting on you every day, that's 650 people hitting on you in a day. So the question was, can your woman say no 3,652 times?
It's usually easy because they just write hi again. Those
And
ones
again,
you can ignore. The problem is the ones you
You
write a
said
lot.
300 in what? You said
In
per
a year.
what?
I think
In
it's a year.
So you wanted to say that 365 times 10, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And you're assuming these 10 guys are hitting every day, right? You're just saying on average,
No,
right?
these are, unajua you're underestimating. I'm not, and again, I don't want that tag ya pessimist, but you're underestimating the commitment ya wako right now. You're underestimating. Twitter has this thing, and I think it's also a very immoral thing that has been normalized in society. Like, and I quote Twitter a lot because it's one of my favorite platforms. Kugongewa, it's a thing. Like, kwanza Gen Z, they don't want a girl of their own. They want your girl.
Your wako.
Please don't bring Gen Z because they're children. I can't talk the madness of young people ruining their life and massacring their future and calling it relationships.
But that's the next
No.
generation.
Okay, we shall get there, but I'll just tell you
Let's explore that.
my
What do you mean?
quick mental maturity arrives at 25. Before these people mature mentally, they're just doing what do you expect? There are some 4 boys, the same Gen Zs, who took their father's very first car, Mark X or something, like these quick cars, huh?
Yeah.
And they started playing the games of switching off the lights and switching them back on. Somewhere on, is it Mombasa Road or Jogo Road? Just towards Nyayo Stadium. And in one of those switches and ons, it had already hit and killed all of them. The other 7 of them boarded Noah and went for a white party around Naivasha. Viewpoint, all of them perished. The way the young people kill themselves like flies.
But let me ask you, most of our mothers got married at 19, 20.
Yes, they did not have an option. They did not have knowledge. Many of them regret. In my practice today, majority tell me I would have had a better quality life if I knew that I should wait and create myself. The years of self-creation are 18 to 24. We get social independence at 18. Most of them leave home at 18 to college or someplace. And we get social responsibilities from 25. That's when our personality matures. That's when you can choose a career you can be dependent on. That's when many people are mature and their personality for marriage. So 18 to 24 is the only window you have for self-creation. Our mothers never did the self-creation. That's why the marriage is a prison for them. Society told them to be woman enough, maintain the marriage. When you are being beaten, that's sign of luck. You're going to be beaten and you will pursue. So many of them stayed in prison for those many years. It was not marriage, it was not voluntary, there was no option. Society did not have space for a woman to say, I'm single. She appeared like she's an outcast and a shame to her people. It was too punitive for a woman not to be married. So it was not good, they just didn't have an option. And there was so much struggle to set them free. They could not even vote. Women could not even go to university. Women could not work. It is just this generation that is the first generation for people who has to watch a normal podcast with a woman telling us life. Previous Obviously, your mother couldn't, or your grandmother. They couldn't do that. It is moment when men were drawn to the forest, that's when it became normal for women to work coffee farm, to work for survival. The first generation of women to work is the Kikuyu Central women when men had gone to fight. That's the women that started table banking. Cooperative bank started that way. So let's not go too far, just tell you that. It is just not just marriage.
So for you, 25, before you're 25...
It's madness and you regret
Go
it.
to school.
You will regret it. I don't even it's like asking me to come and watch as you hang yourself. I'm a parent now, and I keep telling them, I'm a parent. You're like my child. It pains me. Sometimes I cry tears, I confess. I meet them at 33, coming with so much damaged children with the wrong people. After 10 years, 23 is the most notorious age for wrong marriage. Because they look grown, they've just graduated, sometimes they have a job, but they have not self-realized, and they don't know it. They even get obsessed, and they insist on getting married. Women cry in my office, in my practice, telling me, my daughter is doing what I did. The mistake I've suffered for, she's repeating it. And she's already obsessed. Pre-25s are very obsessed. They get obsessed with their love idea. They don't have the and you can research. What is the age of prefrontal cortex? The rational brain matures at 25. This is not my concept. Many people can recall when they reach 28. It's like they wake up. Many of them is from 25 and above. Women in particular, because they're emotionally reflective. Women reflect a lot, and they can see how their tastes have changed. They feel embarrassed at who they were crushing on at 22, 24. They're ashamed. They look at what was it that, and they almost get married. I would have divorced. They tell me I would have divorced. I married who I was crushing on.
Exactly.
Pre-25.
You agree with me. People want different things at different times.
No, when they mature. I'm just trying to say, before you mature, you don't know what you're doing. I was telling you not to tell me about Gen Z relationships. It's like telling me, let's give teenagers guns and let's discuss how they're handling guns.
No. Remember, this is not, I think the term I dropped, the Gen Z thing, is ndio imeharibu your context. But hiyo kitu ya kugongewa, it's across board.
No, it's not.
It is across
board.
board.
It's not sigongei mtu na sigongei. I'm one of the people. Let me keep reminding you this. There's a whole people who live real lives with integrity. They exist. Get out of your pessimistic corner, you will meet them. I keep telling you this. You may say don't want the tag, but that's your behavior. That's your philosophy of life. It's not constant. There's this guy who did so much of that nonsense in Equatorial Guinea, and he seemed to promote the theory. Because out of 400 women versus one man, the guy is the one who let out the secret. Oh, the women did not let out the secret. Yeah. But I was telling them, it's not that they are courageous, because the punishment for cheating for a woman is very severe. It's more severe than the man.
Yeah.
Society is still very cruel on the man. They found two people having illicit sex. The guy on top, they lifted him, but they carried the woman to Jesus, saying, we are supposed to kill her. What do you think? We're supposed to stone her to death. And he knew, because the arresting authorities men, that's why they released one of their own. And say, if you are innocent, start the stoning. They disappear. Told them, where are your accusers? Go and sin no more. Just to tell you this, it's not constant. There are people who live a different life. In fact, let's agree with your point, one of the points you're saying, that the majority of people behave in a way that is antagonistic to marriage. Truth is never for majority. The path of the truth is usually narrow. The wide gate is usually to destruction. So let's not argue whether how many find truth taste. Discipline. Who wants discipline? Who wants self-control? Who wants delayed gratification? Who wants to keep promise? It's painful. But the benefits of truthful living, character living, far outweigh. For example, the simplest benefit, if you ask me, peace of mind. I can sleep at night. I can enjoy my meal. I can chill on my sofa. I don't have phone rings and I have a small heart attack that the phone has rang. That we are watching my child and a message has played.
You forgot to block some numbers on your way home.
And I'm showering. Thank you. I'm showering and the phone rings and get out, embarrassing myself. One guy, the TV was being screened, whatever. They're watching his phone on the screen. They just connected. And then the side chick text there, a very condemning. It was the whole family that saw his infidelity. And that's the trauma children have been suffering. That's when it ended. So I'm just telling you, living for truth is not easy, but it's so rewarding. You don't expect those traumas. You can forget your phones, and you can forget one of your phones, and you don't have to go back in a panic, causing a lot of chaos. You don't have to cancel appointments because somebody has told you I might be pregnant. You know, some people send you a message that it just... One lady texted the boss like that. There was nothing between them. It's just these careless people who sent one line.
The story is not finished.
Yes, so they send one line. Hi boss, good morning. I may be pregnant. And then she posted between them. And the guy's like, question marks. So I need to discuss this with my boyfriend. So why do you have to send me messages like this? What if, say, what do I have to do with you? Oh, I just wanted to ask for leave. Me and my boyfriend are as a situation. And I'm not coming to work today. Easy. You don't have to wait for, I'm pregnant, and now you're finished.
I appreciate your faith in humanity, which is a good thing, right? I also aspire to live in a world where we have honesty and people can be straight with each other, right? I'm an advocate for peace. So maybe I can, nezauliza, what you guys think. If someone has raised children that are not his, like, for example, your son graduates university or your daughter graduates university, and then you find out the children are not yours, what should the man do? And you're happily married. Let's not forget, you're happily married.
By the time children graduate, they're grown-ups as well. They're no longer children. Eh?
Yes.
They're like adult children. Eh? Let me tell you, you're asking me what to discover, and you find that somebody has been cheating for many years. Somebody has cheated on you for many years. I think that's the essence, the crux of the question. Yeah. The crux of the question, one lady divorced the husband when they were 90s. She was saying, you are too old. It was when you're 93 and he's 95.
You're about to go.
I mean, she said a classic answer that I think will peg into this when she said, I discovered that he has a child. It was a similar situation like that. He cheated someplace, he did not confess it, and there's no expiry date for disrespect. There's no expiry date for disloyalty. And because I cannot trust him when he has looked into my eyes every day knowing he's lying to me, and he did not have compassion on me that I'm living on a lie. He did not care that much that even people may come to embarrass me with that truth. So if you discover that your woman has been so cruel as to take the only thing that connects you, the reason you did not live with your sister, the reason you did not just pick anybody, you picked this one to create life with, and she can go as far as mixing the DNA. Sex is very far away. Sex is not an easy thing to have. It's the most intimate thing. If you can go that far and even fool me to thinking this is my child, until you reach a point where, I think off air, you are telling us somebody who was hired to kill the man. Because sometimes these women who have that potential to create children with other men also may want to eliminate you. You don't know what else she's capable of. My advice for that man is to know he's not living with a friend or a partner. He's been living a lie. And he should save his life. If she's changed, should have confessed. If I have to find out myself so late in the day, if I have to find out myself, even the son may, all people taunt you. One guy was, the woman had gotten children with his father, the father to the guy. So they looked like him, but they are his brothers. You know?
So you have examples of what human beings are capable of.
Did I ever deny the decay? Is there any?
The father.
The first family, brother killed a brother. In the Garden of Eden, the first that God created, a brother killed the other brother. The first parents lost 2 children. One was a murderer, the other one was murdered. So bro, I've never disputed that. I'm just telling you, there's evil and there's good. There's God and there's Satan. They both exist. It's not one. You've said you're longing for a world of peace. It will not be this world. Then you announce to you, don't wait for this world to be universally peaceful. It's not possible.
So there is no fault in the man who decides not to enter or partake into that madness.
I encourage you not to get to, by the way, bro. You look very afraid. Don't marry.
You should stay away.
Let me tell you, bro. There's a lot of risk in putting your whole heart in the hands of a person. It's one of the most riskiest things you can do. There's so much at stake.
Yeah.
When you have trusted and a person to cheat like that, you can collapse and die. I tell you the truth. People have died a slow death. They have drunk themselves to unconsciousness.
So let me ask you. So you discover that the children are not yours. They are graduating uni, so they're about 24, 25.
The relationship you have with the children is very independent because they know how you have treated them. If you have been good to them, a child will not just say, unless the
But doesn't it impact them if you choose to, for example, leave? Because
it will impact. This cheating impacts like a bomb blast. You don't know what it will affect. So we cannot deny that the crash discovering infidelity will shake many things. But for many of us children, and I know cases like that, I was handling my practice, where the guy discovered that it's not even his child, but they were so well bonded, and he told the boy was about to help, but he was very reasonable. It has nothing to do with you. You are not there. It's me and your mother can't get along anymore, but we have been so good. I like you as my son, so I like you as my dad. That guy raised that boy because of the connection they have. You should raise the children according to how you have developed to connect to them, because you cannot reverse the 20 years. You can't
unfather them at that point.
And do you go back 10 years to do parenting from zero? Sometimes the energy you're poured into children is life itself. Life itself.
Yeah.
So you deal with the liar, not the innocent victims. Some children are not innocent because they are party with their mother. against you. So that's one you distance yourself from. You distance yourself from. Just telling you this. And also to answer you that, people who have potential to cheat and create children and let what you raise them are not ordinary women. They're usually criminals, and you participated in the crime in marrying them. You are careless in your due diligence.
And if they put up front?
They put up front.
Nowadays, people are very good at being
No,
in character.
Nyachira, we marry wrong because we take shortcuts.
Oh, wow.
We marry wrong because we take shortcuts. If I tell you to take due diligence during dating, you are too legalistic. Those things don't matter. We are grown-ups. There's no big deal. So they start living together. We shall go to our parents next. Women are playing on our innocence as the gentlemen to catch us. If a man is not, I tell men to do one simple thing. Remove sex from the formula and you will see how many women have nothing to offer you. Nothing to offer you. A man who sits across to discuss life, to discuss opinions, you will catch him somewhere. I'm not saying it's impossible to be deceived when you're honest, but it's very hard. Those people buy cars or plots or properties the first time. Many of them end up buying a bad purchase because they trust too soon. Many people buying the first car, buying the first land, buying the first house. If they don't know how to do research and due diligence, consulting, how many people in Africa will go to a life coach, say, I've reached a place of dating, I'm trying to get the wisdom I need to get? How many? We just gravitate, stagger in. That's why we are cheated that much. People who have the potential to lie to you that much are very dark in their heart. They're very dark. One guy was watching TV, and a woman had killed the husband and run away. Then the police had caught up with her. The news item said the woman who had killed the husband has been caught. The wife commented, me hawezi nishika.
But women like horror crime shows.
There's a difference between crime and a slip of the tongue that reveals
who you are.
Because you don't have compassion on.
Because we've watched a lot of crime shows, we know how to.
If you connect with crime, there's a part of you that relates with that.
Okay.
Somebody says, I am watching horror movies to relax. You wonder what is relaxing about murder, horror, those kind of things. Just to tell you, it's true. You may have a side of you that enjoys darkness, but some slips of the tongue. In psychology, you say the slip of the tongue, and what people say when they're angry or when they're drunk is usually something they longed to say, something inside of them. It did not come from alcohol, it did not come from anger, it did not come from by mistake.
It is who they are.
If I mistakenly keep calling you Jen,
There's a Jen somewhere.
Usually.
There's a Jen.
So slip of the tongue, what people say when they're angry, what people say when they're drunk. I'm just confirming to you that it's true. You can find somebody who cheated that long, but you should know you lived with a criminal because mostly you cut shortcuts in doing due diligence. Most men, when they're buying something using all their investments, all the investments King Ori has had, savings, and now he's making a purchase, he will go to the ends
to make sure he doesn't lose his money.
He does the green card check this lawyer. Even if you tell him, Kigori, if you don't pay, another person has to pay. Tell you, if the another person is luckier, let
them take.
Most men are very diligent when it's money. But when it's woman, their life, their future, skittish. I like her. That's the reason.
And it happens a lot.
Yes.
So for the woman's side, this is a very dark side, okay?
Yes.
It's someone with a dark heart, sindio?
Yeah.
For the man's side, he did not do due diligence, okay? Yes. But do you know there's also the element of deception where people can sell you what you want to see, right? And they can play a character for too long. I have seen that enough times.
It happens. We are not saying it does not happen. The same way people will scam you and sell you a false thing.
Exactly.
So what does that tell you? Because people are selling false things, you have never bought anything, Kingori?
Not necessarily.
Thank you.
But to protect yourself from fraud, right?
Thank you for taking my argument. I don't even need to talk anymore. To protect yourself from fraud, there are measures, isn't it? Thank you.
You walked right into that one.
Nikama, sawa.
But now let me ask you. There's
Yes.
a conversation we had before we came on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The article on Kamala Harris.
Yes.
That she I think she called her husband
Dead weight. Yes.
And part of that he contributed to her losing
The run for presidency. Mm-hmm.
So is it part of women getting a raw deal out of marriage if you're a high achiever?
Raw deal wapi.
What? There's
There's a rule that goes There's a rule that goes, once a man has outlived their usefulness in a woman's life, story yako imeisha.
Lakini si hajamaliza juu
That's not a rule. Those are other notions of Kingori. You don't outlive
him and his evil corner.
Pessimist. You don't outlive usefulness when it's covenant and sincerity. It's true, some people are materialistic.
But
They
you
just
know,
want to use you.
also, actually, when you say that, it also means that you've assumed that where you've reached is the highest you should have gotten. Maybe you've just begun. Do you get what I mean?
You have a lot of faith in
You're
humanity.
assuming, no. I'm actually just saying, you're saying when you have outlived the usefulness. And my question is the assumption that where you have arrived now, the highest that you are ever going to go? Maybe you've just begun climbing.
Sound. Save for outliers. What don't you think, Ama, do you believe there's a grace period for how long a woman can take care of a household when a man loses his livelihood or source of income?
I don't. Let me rephrase. There's no right answer for a wrong question. That's a wrong question.
So you want to wrap the question and write your own?
There's no right answer for a wrong question. The question is a setup. It's not even a question.
Yeah.
He's pushing you to a certain
So that
corner.
you fall.
Yes. Because either way, you are caught up.
But it's because of a statement I made to him. I told him earlier.
Yes.
I think men are very generous. I think the way God created men, they have a lot of generosity within them. They are able to give. They're
right
able
men.
to give.
Use the word gentleman.
General, even the bad men, by the way, men are able to give without counting, like kukupea bill.
Yeah.
They will pay rent. They'll pay school fees. They'll
Because
send
he
you money.
believes it is his thing to do.
Yes. Wacha girl dem afanye hizo 2 months.
Because she's not.
Atakutumianga cannot update January rent, unajua nilikava,
Yes.
anangoja refund. It's because I think inherently the way God created men, they're very generous. They think they know it is their responsibility. They don't think they're doing you a favor. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Even the bad men, by the way.
And Nyachira, let me remind
So now
you.
my question was, before you divert, what is your take on these career women, high achieving women who feel that their husband is the reason they didn't go past a certain point? Before I actually ask you about women, because this is a prayer I have seen a woman make, that she did not want her husband to get a better job or his business to grow, because she felt the more money that was at his disposal, the more options he had. And she wanted him to himself.
She was praying the wrong prayer.
Whether it was the wrong or the right, it was a prayer she was making.
When a
and she's not
child
the only
has
one.
a diarrhea, you don't buy more diapers, you treat the diarrhea. The man had a diarrhea of unfaithfulness, and she's trying to limit, instead of handling the character issue.
So before we get there, tell me about this career woman.
So
Kamala
can you answer his question?
Harris.
Yes. So when he said whether there's a limit of how a woman will step in, let me tell you, women don't get tired of paying. They get tired of you stopping to try. Sincere women, it's not the money.
And this is
it's
what
your
I
attitude.
think. This is what I think about men also. While I'm praising them for being generous, I think they are inherently lazy. If responsibility is pulled from them, they have no problem just chilling. I mean, even Adam was in the garden just chilling. He was told to work, but that came much later when they erred. So I think his point is the woman starts providing and then she sees you've stopped. I know women who've said he lost his job or the business went down, I started paying fees, he never picked it up later.
No, let me tell you, Nyachira, you know the wrong type of man. A man who is worth his name can't find sleep
Until he starts providing.
when he has lost stability in providing. I don't know how men move into a woman's house. I can't find sleep in a woman's house.
Utapata usingizi.
Unaona, you're in my corner now. You're in my corner
But
now.
what are you doing?
You are in my corner now.
I'm not talking about marriage. I'm saying men being kept by women.
Yeah.
Or the woman paying bills and I'm eating.
Yeah.
Men were never meant to be provided for. But the last time a woman fed the man, we were kicked out of the garden. To this day, we were kicked out of the garden.
We are still paying the price.
Because the woman provided. It's the man who is supposed to provide, the woman assists. When I'm down, occasionally, she can step in.
So what happens in this day and age where there's career disparities? By the time you met, you were all starting off, and then she shot.
You have answered your question.
Yeah.
On Kamala Harris, right? And I'll rephrase the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Women don't date down. Women don't marry down. Right?
Okay.
As soon as dem amepita level yako and she's above you in some way, that's where dead weight comes in.
No, I don't even want my wife to remain down, and I don't measure where I am versus where she is. I want to promote her. The real men who marry women, they make her Deborah. Deborah went to war for Israel and saved the country when she's a family woman. And we don't hear the husband anywhere that if she's insecure with it. Zeruiah, the woman, she was a sister to David, raised 3 generals. Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Yes, the guy was very fastest. The 3 men, and they fought in the army of David, were raised by a mother. Moses had a deadbeat dad. He was handled by the mother, by the sister, by the daughter of Pharaoh. Not even Pharaoh, the daughter of Pharaoh. Moses was handled by women throughout. Even the wife saved him. When the God would have killed him because he was not doing some cultural things, the wife circumcised and said, I've bought you by blood. Moses was assisted. The first man to assist him was Jethro. The father-in-law gave him a useful advice on delegating management. Yeah. I'm just saying, there are women who are capable and they remain faithful. It's not competition. I don't measure how much my wife is getting vis-a-vis. I want her to shine and have the best gifts to show up in the world. I think it's because sincere men are so few, that's why we used to sing sick men as a measuring yard. A real guy wants the wife to shine, her best talents to manifest. The Bible says, because of her shining in the gates, Proverbs that one, the man is honored. Because she has business, merchant ships, workers, money. She considers land and buys it. She dresses purple. When she manages the affairs, whose wife is that? My
and
God.
He's seated at the gate.
It's because the gates of this means the city, the reputation.
He's seated somewhere in pride.
And so we are saying the wife's power, influence, workers, money, imported from China, made the man to be honored. Stop this comparison.
No comparison. I started with save for outliers. I recognize that there are outliers. I recognize that there are cases that stand out. Umesema vizuri sana. Sincere men are very few. Right? Will you disagree when I say sincere women are there, but they're also very few?
I started by telling you those people who walk the narrow path. It's called the narrow by the Creator himself. He said, take the narrow path because the broad is the road that leads to destruction.
And that's my point.
And narrow is the path. So I agree with you that truth can't be popular because it's uncomfortable. There's no truth that is comfortable. It demands, the truth sets us free, but first of all stings you with the truth before it can set you free. So people say you shall know the truth. No, once you know the truth that you're living by lust, you're choosing your partners by short-sightedness and money-mindedness, and you're just measuring nyash and this, the container, not the content. The truth will first confront you with your own lust, short-sightedness, and stupidity. When you admit it, then it sets you free. And now you start living honestly. That's when you start making long-term decisions. So today, Kingori, we are saying this. My point is, it's not hard to find your type when you are sincere. It's only hard to find good people when you're a criminal yourself. After you finish ruining your life, you're trying to bring the remaining damage to a person who's preserved themselves.
So what's that to say about honest men who are suffering in marriages? Right?
Honest men don't know that they are men. Most princes don't know that they are princes until they have sold their empire to some Delilah. Most men are the last to know. Women know a man who has potential and they grab his foot by a child, by helping herself. Ask young men from 4 Livers, and I was among those kind of young men who were very desperate to make it in life because of poverty problems. I was trying to make it.
Yeah.
Mothers notice it and they try pushing their daughters to you. Their home is not, boys are not allowed in those homes, but you're invited to come and do tuition, to coach them about university, to show them. You're allowed to mingle free. You're wondering,
setup.
This is unusual. The mothers had seen this one has future, has focus. I'm just telling you that men who are going far generally realize it so late when they are being caught, trapped. That was the story of Samson. He had a covenant, but he kept playing around with Delilahs. Covenant. Judah was told that from you kings shall come to the end of time. He was told the scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes, until Christ himself comes. You have a lineage of kings. Be careful. But what did he do? When he felt on heat and there was no money, he hired a prostitute. But the daughter-in-law knew him, that he's careless. He'd set herself and disguised. Men can sleep with a woman without checking her face. That's what he did, and conceived twins with a woman he doesn't know. Men to this day, they don't know they are princes. Their future is so great, they sell. When they are hungry, they trade it off for a bowl of soup. Good men are just answering. Many times they are careless, and they mix with paupers. In college, boys were hitting on whichever girl they can put in the box and sleep with. Among the back of 10 wolves of boys. There's one there who is a prince, a future governor, a future president, a future million, future, but he's hanging with wolves and he learns those ways. So all he's chatting with women is sending me something sexy. Let me see what you're wearing today. What are you wearing? Let me see. Call me in bed. Let me video call. We are taught the ways of paupers. We forget we are prince. Good men are marrying wrong because they took so long to realize they are different, never changed their ways. Moses tried what other people were doing, being aggressive. Fighting, why are you fighting? Why you stop fighting? This guy come from, and he killed them, thinking it's normal. Tomorrow he's trying to talk to others. You want to kill me, then you kill. When Moses killed somebody, it spread. When others do it, it was not spreading. It caused him to flee. Princes like Moses take very long, like Judah, take very long, like Samson, take very long to know they have a future. The solution, if you sense that you have conscience, the men I'm calling good men are men who care, who can keep their word, who can't just smash and forget. Bad boys don't care that you showed them that. I saw one lady saying, so you're not texting me, just wanted to see my nakedness. The guy answers, so me, the nakedness you saw was graphic design, Savage. Does not care. So I'm talking about men who care after they men usually seduced by promising a lot of things. I love you, we shall do a lot of things. And after that, but the man who can't do that, he wants to keep his promise. If you're that kind of guy, listen to me, stop that behavior. It will catch you. You are the prize.
So what do you do so that they're not caught in that rat race?
You change your conduct.
No. Like they've just come out. You see the way you've described, you've come from Form 4, your background is a bit difficult. You're setting yourself, like how do you deal with, so that you're not making governor and big shot and you have all these things hanging on.
Actually, it surely pulls them down. Have you seen how they show up at greatness?
Yeah,
then one of those
wait.
misdeeds drags them down.
Yeah, they wait.
The society loses. How many times have we lost the best presidents, best leaders because of one small woman somewhere? The guy exchanges the woman who made him with a maid.
So how do you...
The only solution for all those gentlemen is learn discipline early. Discipline is the prize for destiny. It is the prize. It pinches you because you have to control yourself.
Yeah.
I was in a public university where guys would bring women the next room and they put the bed next to the wall and you have sound effects. You're trying to contain yourself.
Yeah.
And we had to run away. Many Fridays with Exodus because it would be chaotic. Yes. No, I could not be exiled. I could not, my friend, if you brought me that idea, I would have finally found somewhere to take out what I've been feeling for a very long time. So nobody ever suggested exile to me.
Yeah.
They would rather exile themselves. Yeah. But I'm just saying they'll make the whole hostel very hostile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to say, if you realize this, that it's like you're going farther. Listen, I hope you hear this before you sell out.
Yeah.
Nyachira, let me remind you, I don't know your principles, but after I married my wife, she told me I had made my personal covenants. I don't want a guy with children, don't want too much drama. I don't want a guy who's leading me to sex before marriage. The moment you manipulate, you get it done, that we are also done. There are women who have their own stance. Listen to me, princes. The woman who can take you to your destiny, the woman who can build you, has very high standards. Stop misbehaving. Contain yourself. It's painful. You're going to struggle with your body. Women will bring themselves. Sometimes men have to be even hugs or physical contact with women, you limit them. Because men of them use anything to get you close. Their skin or something to get you close. And it's very easy to be lured. When you're fasting, you're young and you're living right as a young man, you're holding yourself. You're transmutating energy to games, to do other things, but the sexual act itself, you're not doing it. So it's very easy for pornography or sexual display, anything to excite you. You get to these tattoos and it's a struggle. To live right is not easy. But in the long run, it pays. You can sit here. That's one thing I met my guys, the ones we met, and they said, do you guys realize that we are depending on the past conduct of our wives today to sit on Kingori's show, to sit anywhere public? If your wife had body count of 5 or even 3, men who could type somewhere, hey, this guy telling people here, hey, and I was with his wife, hey, here is a screenshot, hey, here is a photo, you're finished. There are women who will build you who are conducting themselves differently. Conduct yourself that way because they will have requirements. Forgiveness is there, but many of them have their own standards saying there's something I can't put up with. You must know Cruz. Is it Tony Cruz? An actor in Hollywood.
Terry Crews.
What did he say about his wife? He said the wife kept sensing that he had done something mysterious. And he was tired of the suspicion, so he confessed. Okay, I went to Vancouver for massage and I was given a hand job. Okay, what do you like? The wife packed and left. I said, what is it? Hollywood doesn't care about divorce. Continue acting. But he said, my arrogance did not let me see that I was losing the gold in my life, the stability in my life. Mike Tyson came from a very decayed society. He said he saw sex carelessly, the mother, it was chaotic. Then an angel, guardian angel, so to speak, saw him, picked him, and adopted him as a son, and then trained him. He was a boxing training. And he told him that if you stay on this right conduct, you'll be the champion of the world. He died before the boy became, but he predicted it. And the boy became the youngest heavyweight champion. He was very violent. The violence was coming from where he came from, but he was also hungry to have money. A doctor, like this doctor, liked him, illiterate as he was, staked her life for, I think I see your potential, I can marry you. I can marry you. What did he do? He did not realize that this was the stability. Listen to me, Kingori, I hope you find a woman who will be the stability in your life. While Offset here, you were joking.
Amen to that.
While you are here joking, Offset, how many comments did Nyachira give? Let's remove that. And I was asking you, do you notice the thing she's noticing? We are not even noticing them. No, guys, okay. She told me I would button. Okay, and button that one. She adjusted us. One lady here improved our look. And we are not even married to her. Marry this kind of woman. How much would your life change, bro? There will be peace, settlement, and enrichment. I'm just telling you, there is a woman who is meant to seize your life and promote it. The reason those women have a lot of requirements, the Nyachira type, is because they know after I marry a man, I'll make him richer, more famous, he'll have more options, he will travel further without me, he will have more options for girls. So if I see signs of trouble early, I know this one will multiply 100 times because I'll make him better. There are girls who want married men because they've been cleaned up. They don't even want you to divorce. I saw one, they say, you got wives. Don't leave him because I'm with him. I don't want all of him. I don't want all of that. I just want it on Tuesday, Saturday evening alone. So there are women who know it's a liability to be so invested in the wrong man. These women know it. And because they love deeply, they also hurt deeply. They can deteriorate to death. Do you know how the Church of England was started? You also call it Anglican Church. One guy had fallen in love with another woman because the woman he was with was not giving birth to boys. Men have been stupid for so long. Eh? Women can't determine gender. Women only have XX. Yeah. But this king thought it is this wife who can't get sons. Yeah. And he wanted to divorce this one and marry. The Pope couldn't allow. It was the only church that would say. I think to this day they still don't allow sex. They still don't allow divorce. The Pope bought time and again. Eventually, one guy told him, forget that church, start your own church. It will allow you to divorce. That's how he broke away just to divorce. Started another church just to divorce. To tell you, it is still, the woman he divorced, I wanted to pass that point that she was so invested and well-meaning, she deteriorated to death by a tumor of the heart. These women, they know. They will raise you to kingship. They become so invested. You had the story of Jeff Bezos. When he divorced, the wife said, if I split your wealth, you lose your status. And I'm invested in what we build together. You give me what you want. Not all women are just after your money. Some had a covenant with God to build you. And I know a guy who told me, the prayers of my wife have saved me many times, and I can tell the public, it's too embarrassing. She tells me, Ali, are you okay? I felt like, and the moment she calls, I'm just from a trap. Near accident, near bad deal, near something. She said, I felt I should pray. She said, I'm ashamed to admit, if I part with this woman, I won't go far. There are women who are so deeply invested that they can't deal with any form of infidelity. Any. And yet, the gentleman who's sincere is seduced in his home. They hire house helps, these girls. And the house help believes she's also a woman enough. Not all of them, I'm just saying it happens.
She wonders what is the difference. I'm even the one doing everything.
Why do you have a better life?
Yeah.
So what do you have that I don't have?
Yeah. And I'm the one who does everything. I'm the one who runs this home.
And she starts making moves to the man.
Yeah.
The guy leaves, goes to office. There's also girls there. He goes for kinyozi. Some girls are also trying to. So I'm just telling you that, Kinyori, you are right in that those who live right are being tempted from every side. But what did he say? Sin stands at the door. Genesis.
And knocks.
It knocks at, but its desire is to have you. But you must learn to master him. I don't know why he gave it a personality, called it him. You must learn to master it. Just to tell you, it stands at the door. It's not easy when you choose, but the rewards, bro. The rewards, bro. I can go home to peace. No quarrels, no suspicions, no tension. I can sit here and do shows and I'm not getting 72 missed calls. Because she's not sure that I'm with Kingori, I'm with some other thing somewhere. I just want to tell you, bro, the peace of mind and the ability to journey through this life calmly with a friend. We journey each other home. It's more than sex. It's the friend to my soul. He's somebody who makes meal to make sure there's food at home every time. Do you know how important that is? Okay, you're a bachelor, you must know. Just to know that.
He doesn't know the alternative.
Bro, do you know that you don't have to call hotels and eat leftovers?
Yeah.
That you don't have to make cocoa mukate.
Na bread. Na chipo.
Chipo za kubaki.
Na avocado.
Secnidazole. Bachelors know secnidazole because
They
the nurse
know
is talking.
secnidazole.
Yes, because stomach infection is that's a constant. So, do you know how to adjust a fresh meal? There's always something I can bite even when I'm starving. Or somebody notices I've been on Zoom so long, they sneak me a glass of juice. Do you know how deep that is, bro? Just tell you, there are women who are invested. We care for each other's soul. We shepherd each other's soul home. I'm hoping one day when we are 80, I keep telling her sometimes jokingly, I want to hold your hand when you're 80 something and tell you, you know what? We made it. It's possible, bro, to make it. You can find somebody who makes your life better. I prefer my life with my wife despite all the challenges. I prefer it. 10, 100 times. She keeps me contained without somebody to be responsible for. I don't know where my last will be leading me next. I don't know how many people would have to manage. I don't know how many people would be targeting me with their shots. I don't know. I saw one guy who plays pranks, of these gold digger pranks. He catches random girls on the street, and when they refuse, he opens a car to say that she'll turn around.
Yeah.
And
they turn around.
Then he caught the wrong number this time.
Yeah.
The number is Azak. You know, the women are just mafia as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, you introduced me when you saw a car, you came back, say you're a gold digger. That guy was beaten up. He was roughed
Mangumi.
up. The team had to save him. Yes. This was not actually, he was really beaten up. And you know he can't fight back because he's on the wrong.
Yeah.
Why are you playing with people's mind?
Yeah.
What's wrong with being a gold digger? I don't know. But what's the point of that show? Is there anything wrong somebody choosing to be a gold digger? God told people to live their lives. God gave people freedom to be criminals, anything. Why are you bothering them?
Yeah.
There's no point woman choosing. There's nothing wrong. Are you the monitor of the universe? That you come to say, you're calling me a gold digger. I say, why you calling me that? That's my lifestyle. You asked for business. I came here to trade business. You are here to insult me, my friend. Where did you come to my shop? And she was right. Okay, that's my lawyer speaking, the lawyer in me speaking. Just say this woman has a right to live as she wishes. You have no business shaming her for her life. All right?
Yeah.
God himself has given her life. And judgment will come later. Who are you to her? That woman was right. She does right to be. And then you are filming me. One of these days, these people will be sued to their last coin.
Yeah.
Why film a person without their permission? They're calling it prank shows, but I hope the law is developing to protect people. Because you can't be filming me from random place and I don't know. And then you're trying to expose me. This is my life. I'm not even breaking any law.
Yeah.
You know? Just to tell you, there are women who are invested in building all the way to destiny with their men. And Jacob, so he said, there I buried my father. There I buried Leah. Go and bury me there. Some of us want to be in the same burial ground with our spouses to finish well. I just wanted to answer you that. Yes, they are few, but they're committed and they live for it like Rechabites. That's their life. Bro, I have no option. I hope my wife doesn't die ahead because I may not live long after that. I don't know who else can shepherd me so well. I don't know. I don't know who else can understand me that much, can challenge me. Many people, they fear King Ori because he has a name. They can't challenge you. The woman who can call out your bullshit, you need her with warmth and love. How many are there? They're just there to eat what you have. How many can say, no, there's no need for that expense. Cut this cost. We can improvise this. That's one thing my wife is a genius at. She will not rush to buy something. I'm very quick to buy. To get it done, you know, how to pay.
It's in your pocket.
Yeah, how much is it? All right, okay. No. I have a carpet at home that is idle. Don't buy a carpet. Huh? There is one I've kept there. It's not even, I can use it there. She avoids buying. She will remember something that she lives up where. And pick it and use it instead of spend. I said, this is stewardship, you know.
Aren't you overlooking the role of luck in the success of your marriage?
Okay, what you call luck, I call grace.
So you can't overlook something
outside
extra.
Help.
Yes.
You are helped outside, bro. He said somewhere that without me you can do nothing. In John 15. Without me you can do nothing. So that's true. I think I even saw an article written, non-spiritual article, saying those who finish well their marriage, they say they are attributed, yes, to careful selection, behaving themselves, but they also know you can behave right, get a neurological disease, you know, you can behave right, accident happens, things go south. Yeah. You can behave right and things that don't work. So it's true, bro. Even, do I know today whether I'll get home without a road crash? Thank you. So you're very right. There's a huge element, but it's not that element that you depend on. He said, as long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, day and night, winter and summer shall not cease, and the law of sowing and reaping. So what you sow is what you reap. There are some things you can't control, but a lot of your life is a result of what you did. Yes.
A lot of your life, yeah, that's true. On principle, cause and effect, I believe that. I believe that 100%.
And tell young people, us or even men, to stop thinking you can live like while sowing wild oats everywhere, and then when one day you wake up, clean up and say, will you marry a straight woman? You just marry another con like yourself. Continue shacking around, you marry another shack.
And in these stages, see what wanasemanga, these stages are very important. Like there's a saying that goes that if a woman doesn't go through a certain stage in her life, they are likely.
There's no stage for promiscuity. There's no stage.
I think there is.
There's no stage for promiscuity.
You need to a office. You know, it's like.
There's no stage for a prostitute.
There's no, recruit kwa hiyo.
I don't know why he's going your guy. I don't know where he's going.
No, hapana. Like what to say, ma'am. Okay. I have to be very careful with words here. It's general. You mentioned something and you said that stolen sex is very good. I've observed.
The Bible said stolen bread is sweet.
Thank you. So, Ndovuku did a song. Mtoto wangu akiitwa KU nitakataa. Hakuna masomo KU. And KU, not the university here, context. Study the lifestyles of most graduates, okay? Most kids join university when they're very innocent. And then you've been thrown into a den of sinners, okay?
Freedom.
Exactly, freedom. The outcome, like the women for women. In fact, it's for men, Pia, but let me say just people who finish university unscathed is also a very small population. As in a very small population, all right? Kidogo, I believe, very small percentage.
Why are you interested in the percentage? How many women do you want?
I'm looking at this wholesomely, in this sense, okay? If you're looking at a pool, like mnasikianga hiki tunaambia 1 in a million, right? Given a task ya kutafuta 1 in a million, this goes to ile kitu ya most women settle for their second option, their second best option. In terms of like statistically, and this can be proven, tunaweza angalia numbers. Most women kwa hii dunia wanataka the top 20% of men, the ideal man, right? So the person you'll most likely marry, sindio? It's because you could not get ile 20%.
Unanipatia vibes za kuselect high school kwa primary.
Exactly.
First selection.
Hiyo ndio ukweli.
Second selection.
Yes. You may land on your first selection, but second selection ikikam well and good.
You see, you just repeated the story I told you. I went through that decade system. I was there, and I was not alone. I already admitted in the early of this conversation, truth, the narrow path. The Creator said to be for the few. And he said, follow that path. The wide path has many, and it leads to destruction. Just to tell you, if you are among the 20% men, that's a Pareto principle you're even hinting at, 80-20. Most of the results, 80% of results, good values, moral in society, comes from 20% of the population. It's a management principle, but people have found it to be an applied social situation. They were saying 80% of the results in your company comes from 20% of the people. So you should invest 80% of your time on that 20% of the people, or give you 80% of the, it's a management principle. Just to tell you that, when you are of that 20% of men, you're also looking for a woman is from the 20%. It's not hard when you come from the small club to identify the other members of the small club.
So if we generalize here for purposes of this argument, right? In an ideal situation, 80% of men should focus on the 20% of women.
80% of men?
No,
yes,
in
an ideal
20%.
situation. In an ideal situation.
20%.
The men who, for example, in a group of 10, you may find that only 2 men are living celibate. Will they go for the promiscuous women? They'll also look for the celibate women. That's what I'm saying. The few who live on the narrow path will also look for the few who live on the narrow path. You will know this because those men have told me, I date women and I'm not rushing to bed. They escape. They ask me, are you gay? Are you even honest? Do you function? How come you're not trying to sleep with me? Are you getting it elsewhere? They tell me, the women who don't live celibate can't stand me. It's very easy for men. who live with the 20% to date right. Because they're having conversation on issues. He's engaging her brain, and she's not used to that. She's used to just charming a man with her body,
Dressing
and he falls.
nice.
Yes. And the guy compliments the nice dressing, then goes to the next. What's the vision
Do you
of
know
your
one
life?
of the people in my circle was supposed to have a wedding last year, and they had committed to abstaining till marriage, right? And it was true. They lived in purity, all the steps, right? The marriage was cancelled. But then, on cancellation, there were very many reasons for the cancellation. The gentleman was very happy that by the end of the marriage, he had not committed to having sex before marriage.
Exactly.
And he was very proud of that decision.
Exactly.
And I respect that. But new information arriving and confirmed indicates that as he was waiting for marriage, walikuwa wanamchunia maembe na pilipili huko nje. You understand?
The woman was having it.
Yes, elsewhere.
No wonder the marriage was cancelled.
That was after. Like, there are certain things that happen.
His
that
graces helped him because he was behaving right many times. The universe will help those who are honest.
But it was very close. Like, chances are he would have went through with that.
Let me tell you, it's not enough to be celibate. You should also, the celibacy allows you to have discernment, to pick small opinions. You don't need to just, because a woman, people can behave celibate because they learned you're celibate. Sometimes men are also careless. They throw their values. They throw their values to the woman early on. Me, I'm not sleeping with you until marriage, so she learns. He is not of that kind. I attended a barber shop, and across it was a salon, just a small division than salon. Then women were preparing one of them for wedding tomorrow. Wakimsonga nywele and all that. And they asked, hey, you, we know you, how did you land on that guy? I think the guy was Mike or something. Hey, tuambie, wanatoka vyao. Because I think they were talking about a guy who's decent. That kind of a guy who is not smashing around and he has a stable life. But this girl has another side that these women know.
And they can't imagine.
And they're asking,
Aje.
She said, she quoted a proverb that says you catch the animal with what it eats.
Kama ni mla nyama?
Because the guy came with Kenyeji vibe, she also toned down to
Kienyeji.
yes, and clasped her hands and wore nicely. And she said, sasa kamuli sasa utaishi hivyo, will you live like that? Say no. See,
Give me time.
After you get in, you show your true colors. So this guy was being deceived to marry because he came imposing his values. That's lack of skill. I've written books about dating to the guy. It's not enough to be a good guy. You can be a good guy like Ahab and you marry a very wicked Jezebel.
You stock your books with the Nuria? You stock your books
they
with
called me. We are still planning on it.
You're still planning.
But
And wake up. What's the name of the book? I want to see your argument in that.
dating right, that's one of them. And then lasting love. Start with the lasting love. I have 3 for dating. Before you say I do dating right and lasting love. Lasting love, one of the principles that on lasting love, I tell them this. You can love now and have a very powerful sexual magnetism. Haki mnaweza noki na mzee mko hata nyinyi mwezi dai. Yaani mnacheka kama jinga tu. Mnakaa kwa simu mkibreathe kata simu sikati. You can have that stupid good feel with a person.
For more than 3 weeks.
And you don't share values. You don't share values. That was Jezebel and Ahab. Powerful chemistry, opposite values. She led him systematically to killing innocent people, stealing, killing Naboth to take away his garden, grabbing people systematically.
She was the power mind.
Yes,
Behind
until God said, Ahab had something good. He had a good heart, imagine.
Yeah.
And because of that, the reward is you'll be buried in one piece. Imagine now that was a good reward. You can imagine.
The option was many pieces.
You know, Jezebel was not buried. She was licked by dogs.
Yeah.
Just to tell you this, you can be a good-hearted guy. But if you're not careful on your selection, that good heart will attract wolves. And they will give you what you expect. Because men arrive on date 1. Today, a guy chatted me, telling me he has masters. The lady reached Form 4. She's working menial, this sometimes house help or whatever. And him, he has a job, he's employed. But he likes the girl, he thinks she has a good heart. And he said, I told her I want to marry her the first time we met. I said, bro, stop it there. If you're that careless with your life, what are we talking about here? Would you arrive at a Kayad and announce, I'm buying this car? Would you ever do that, even on real life?
But you will check other cars first.
No, the moment.
Thank you. Apple sour.
The
But,
moment you announce your motives early, people are just. This girl, I asked him one common sense question. This girl who was unfortunate from Form 4, what chances does she have to marry a high-flying girl.
This is her opportunity.
And then he has declared early.
She will
that
align.
girl will adhere to everything you say.
She will align.
To make sure this is her one chance to.
Kwa hiyo point ya Dr. Nyachira, now that you've given an example with a kayad. Yes. Let's use your example. If you go to a kayad, even if you don't announce immediately that you're buying that car, are you allowed to test other cars or even test the car that you're buying?
You are supposed to check cars, check character of women, check everybody, but you're not supposed to invest while checking.
No,
Sex
testing.
is investment.
Testing.
You don't cross boundaries.
Testing.
Yes. Let me tell you, I told people to test drive character. You don't test drive the body. The moment you start test driving the body, you are crossing the boundaries. You are mixing to intimacy, and if you are the good guy, you'll be trapped.
This is a long-term contract. This is
the way to get a guy to marry wrong, is to get him to sleep with you. Because gentlemen promise and they want to keep their promise. I love you. Yeah. I'm not just using you. Because they'll tell during the pillow talk, are you just using me? No, me, I can't lie to you. What he says is what she holds. And she herself has no value. She could even have been sleeping with anything. This guy was building his life to come and marry. Then because he was bribed with sex. Numbers, I think one of the books, Exodus 23 says, a bribe blinds the eyes of the just. Previously, you were straight-faced, but the moment you received a bribe, if you are attending interview, but you go to the corner to smash one of the interviewees, you can't be objective with her or him. You'll have to, because you have written something. That's
but do you know there are marriages, successful marriages, that have started from eating something, like tasting, na unasikia iko sawa, and you live happily ever after.
That's why he always.
Let me tell you, thank you for saying there are. I used the same word you used the other day. Outliers. Those who start with lying are not following the principle. And yes, you can steal. Some people stole money, started business, then stopped stealing, and their business is successful. Right. Would you say that is the right way?
So how do you know you are not made to steal and be successful?
Principles, bro. Principles don't lie. And let me remind you this. Character, truthfulness, integrity. All right? I tell you the truth. When you have a lot to lose.
Yes.
Kingori, you have a big business to build. I tell you the truth. Today, you can make yourself a guinea pig. Go trying these principles and see whether they work. Make your life a guinea pig. Some people just live like that to see whether it works.
Yeah.
You can cross River Nile on a rope and you don't get eaten by crocodile. So you live to say, even if you cross River Nile, nothing can. I was there. I crossed. Yeah. What are they telling you?
Can you see any injured?
So sleeping with people before marriage is crossing River Nile. You may get across.
You may succeed across.
But does it make it any safe? You are just lucky. Or the prayers of your grandmother saved you. It's only one
or
touch.
They had just eaten. The crocodiles had just eaten. They
were just full. Thank you. So I just want you to know the best way to end up with Delilah, because they know how to really make it. Do you know, Samson, we don't know whether he really slept with Delilah, but you know he used to lie on her thighs. Bro, even the proximity, neighborhood, ikatosha kummelt. Some women don't need to take you very far. You utasema. Utanyolewa.
Utaniambia. Strength inatoka wapi?
Yani to relax tu hapo tu. And you know, some of these massage parlor, they really give you that treat, a taste. And they advertise it. Guys flock. I saw one saying.
They don't even, do you know, they don't even have names, those massage. They're just called massage spas.
Yes. And they advertise it with a very sumptuous woman. Yeah. I saw one lady saying, when I'm coming from Nigeria, when they visit Kenya, they must go to that barber shop.
Oh, wow.
And she's dancing for them. A very sensual treat, you know?
Yeah.
She shaves. She starts from shaving. For her, she's not waiting after being shaved. She's on. You know, and guys are paying. She charges premium, as you can guess.
Yeah.
Because he's giving you a treat.
Yeah.
It's not just,
a premium service.
She's charging dollars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just to tell you this, it's true that you can get lucky when you cross boundaries and all that. Just like people can steal a bank and they don't get killed.
Yeah.
But that's not safe.
It doesn't mean that it will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you either pray for a good woman or a good man, or you pray for luck.
Yeah, I don't know who you're praying to give you luck, unless you're talking to the luck itself. I just know that somebody said good luck is what happens when preparedness meets opportunity. When you have been prepared and packaged as the one the king wants, you, Esther, you win it on one day, although you are prepared the whole of your life. The whole of your life. When you stood before the king, you won one day. People say, I think Usain Bolt said, I ran a race for 9 seconds, but I trained for it for 4 years.
In fact, that's powerful because I saw Usain Bolt. There's a breakdown. Usain Bolt has made close to 200 million, and he has run for 119 seconds, like 119 seconds. That's less than 2 minutes, right?
Yes. Yes.
All his life.
Yes.
But you say a very good point. People don't look at how long he trained
How
for
hard
that.
he's worked to get
Let
to
me
that
tell you,
point.
you see a person walking intact in one piece. And I want to validate one of the points you said. The day you meet a woman and she swears to you that let's stand on an altar and they will ask whether anybody has a reason that I should not marry you. Anybody who agrees to that, you should respect it. Today people...
Mabouncer wanakwanga kwa aisle. Ndio ma-ushers.
No, today TikTok has no bouncers. Today social media has opened. You may not put bouncers everywhere.
Yeah.
If you have secrets, we will know.
They'll come out.
You will know. Just to tell you that. Those people have kept themselves in one piece. In one piece. That they have not showed their nakedness to anybody. Or since when they changed. We are not just talking about physical virgin. Sometimes, as you say, society is so decayed. Are you aware that the average girl starts getting hit on? The statistics are very disturbing for a parent. Because we used to think it's when they go out of the world.
Yeah.
But now we are being told the relatives you bring to your house.
But those are the biggest risks.
The workers. The people you trust.
Yeah.
Previously, it was the male side threatening the girl. Today, even the women assault the daughter.
Yeah.
The woman who keeps herself in one piece has not gotten into masturbation using test tubes or carrots because someone lesbianism, somebody triggered things, or she followed this. The woman who can stand in one piece. And Nyachira say, my name is Nyachira. And I mean what I say. My brother, salute that. She has fought 100 battles to afford that, what she's saying. Because many women must cow. They have no courage to tell you, I can marry you. They know somebody will ashame them. The moment you try to say, guys, I'm marrying, I'm bringing the girl. Hey, she knows.
Once the photos.
They will come there.
Complete with photographic
evidence. They will come there. Just to tell you, bro, it's not easy, but if you keep yourself in one piece, it's not about perfection. Let's keep emphasizing this.
Yeah.
It's not about perfection. It's about genuinely trying to do what you know to be right from the moment you know it to be right. Some people can come from a wild life. Yeah. And they tell you, prior to 25, I had a wild life. Since then, I've lived a clean life.
Yeah.
And can tell you, I am not proud of the life I live. I didn't know any better. Many of them have wounds. Psychological wounds are not spoken about in Africa. Many fathers were absent. This girl has no father's love. Many men have not been loved, been told which. So they are looking for validation through sex, so by the time they land,
conquest.
It's another thing. Very good.
Yeah.
It's another thing that is disturbing them. Yeah. It's late in the day. When they land, they change. So, bro, you should respect that person who has walked the way you said. You have lived a journey of celibacy. That's not easy. You're fighting battles daily. Your own body conspires. Sometimes your heart steals its way into a person. Your eyes meander. You know, nowadays you just need to scroll sofa set on Gigi or someplace, and a pornographic sensual image will pop there. And it's not a pornographic site. So I'm just saying, when you have decided it's a struggle and everybody knows it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
I saw a comment saying, every woman you know, who is worthy being called a woman, has felt like she's being followed. She has lingered on a window. She has faked a phone call to run away. She has clenched on her keys to disappear. She has avoided getting to the lift or gotten out of the lift on the wrong floor because somebody is making her feel so uncomfortable.
It happens all the time.
It's so unsafe for women.
Yeah.
So unsafe. I think most men who get married...
I was even telling some friends of mine, I've become a perfectionist at talking to myself on the phone, in an Uber, in a taxi.
To avoid intrusive...
Yeah.
You know?
No, just for the person to think somebody knows where I am. So I'm on the phone and I'm having a full
blown conversation.
Yeah, how
okay, wacha nashuka sahi.
Ndio nimefika hapa, ndio tumepita hapa.
You know?
And it sounds very convincing.
Do you know how, bro, I used to shiver the first times when my wife would drive and she goes out there. Singemwambia, but I'm being paranoid. But I just know the matatus vehicles are very rude. Motorcycles are very unpredictable. Yeah. They can just cross you, and for several times she got into incidents, which confirmed my fears.
Yeah.
I would fear so much for her. I look at my children, I'm wondering, will they be safe in this world? So I'm trying to teach as much about self-preservation.
Survival.
Don't give people reason to think you are allowing them to go.
Yeah.
Don't preserve. I tell them, discipline is hard, but it is the safest thing. Actually, they say the highest form of self-love is self-control. You don't open doors to the world through lust. You don't press the buttons they ask you to press.
Yeah.
So they don't have any claim on your
On
life. That's the safest thing you can do even as a man. Yes.
25, I'm still stuck at the point where 25-year-old are too young. Why?
The good thing is you have all agreed with me through corners,
The
which is
statement
fair.
that you started.
Yes. We have arrived at the same conclusion that the world is rotten, probably too rotten for marriage, but that does not mean marriage is dead. But you have to dig like diamond to find, to marry right. Let me use that
Selection
statement.
criteria.
Yeah, your selection criteria to marry right. No further submission.
You
I
rest.
have won. Yes.
You rest.
This guy
The prosecution
he has
rests.
ego issues. He must win.
No.
The more reason why he should
Don't
not
go
marry
to marriage
yet.
like that. You will lose it. Sometimes
You've never known that in marriage, men, you never win that.
you lose the argument to keep the peace.
So, unasikia Dr. Nyachira anasema ati, do I know that in marriage men never win the argument, and then it is I who has an ego.
No,
You understand?
I'm just telling you the laws of the jungle. So what all these things have laws?
Unasikia it's a law.
Yeah. So I think this far we agree that every good thing, be it good marriage, be it good business, be it good family,
Absolutely.
good
Good
show, good
investment.
anything.
Yeah.
Hackers are always trying to hack into your show because it's a good thing. People are trying to take away every good thing. Marriage is no exception. Those who are committed to it will pay the price, commit themselves to it, because that's what sustains them. Just to tell you, as I told you, if I did not have the stabilizing help of marriage, I suspect sometimes my own weaknesses would make me collapse.
Would have overpowered you.
Yes.
Thank you. And there is another person crying somewhere that if it was not for marriage,
They would be
they
very
would be
far.
they would be very far. They would be a better person.
This is my stalling power.
Yes.
Got it, yeah.
I think me have enjoyed the
I
conversation
have enjoyed
personally.
it too. Thank
Me
you
too.
very much.
Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much.
So watu wanajua hii ni Institute of Character Development. We hope Benjamin Zulu tatujoin tena na tena.
Yes, sure.
Doc.
Thank you very much. It was very nice. I've really enjoyed myself. Thank you.